Good afternoon, folks. It's Saturday, Suburban Prepper, doing my 7 p.m. live feed. And we got some things we're going to go over today. Hope everybody had a great week. I know I did. Okay. First of all, can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to do a quick sound check. And I sound loud and clear, over. All right. Let's just get this started here. All right. So, got to get the panel adjusted. So today, we're going to talk about a couple things. We're going to talk about a bug out water bag system that I think is important to have. We talk about my FLIR breach, which is a helmet mounted handheld thermal device. We'll go into that in a little bit. Talk about the PVS 14. Came out in the 90s. And we're going to talk about the PVS 14 with a clip-on thermal imager. PVS 14 is a third generation Nightvision monocular. Pretty versatile, used military and civilian with low light or no light conditions. It's a favorite among preppers and outdoor enthusiasts because it's reliable, it's durable, and the technology is advanced. The Gen 3 version has cutting-edge image intensifier tubes, which provide superior resolution, clarity, and brightness compared to earlier generations. So there's Gen 1, okay. There's Gen 2, which are still on the market a lot, and then there's Gen 3. This makes an ideal tool for nighttime navigation. I want you to remember that word, navigation, surveillance, and target acquisition. One of the standout features of the PVS 14 is its adaptability. I'm just going to pull out my PVS 14 here. This is my PVS 14. It's pretty adaptable. What I have here is my TACS, my clip-on thermal imager, and we're going to take that off here in a minute. And we'll talk about that too, of course. So this is my PVS 14. I have it mounted for a helmet. As you can see right here, we're going to just show you how you do it. And going to get it mounted here in a minute. There we go. Lock it into place. And this is how it looks mounted on the helmet, okay? It gets a little heavy with the clip-on thermal imager when you're using two PVS 14s as a monocular system, but so be it. You want to be careful when you're connecting these. I don't care if it's a little bit slower or awkward. I am careful when I connect that. It's a piece of equipment that's not cheap. It's adaptable, this PVS 14, very adaptable. Be handheld, mounted on a helmet as you've seen, or it can be attached to a weapon system. which I would not recommend really doing. Give me 1 second. No, you're not gonna show a weapon on a live stream, so forget what I just was thinking about doing. Okay, I've shot it on my M16 or my A4, and it works. I'm a little wary of shooting it on an A4 because it's not really what it was made for. So, PVS 14. And I just lost my page. Give me a second here. There we go. So mine is not a white phosphor. Mine's the old green one, and that's fine. It looks good for me. Do I want to get a white phosphor one in the future? Yeah. Do I want to get 2 of them? Probably. That has a more natural black and white image, reducing eye strain and improving detail recognition. It has an IR illuminator for complete darkness, okay? Low battery indicators and an auto shut-off functionality. But these AA battery will last 50 hours, okay, folks? It's not something that sucks up a lot of energy. Durability is another hallmark of the PVS 14. I know, I've dropped them before. It's meant to withstand harsh conditions. I had one in Afghanistan. It's water resistant, which that wasn't a problem over there. And it's designed to operate in extreme temperatures. It's compact by itself, and it's easy to carry for an extended period of times. Compare that with a Gen 1 weapon-mounted Starlight, and it makes a lot of sense what I'm saying. It still remains a top choice for preppers like me, retired military, because it's a technology that we were used to back in our prime. To me, it's one of the best night vision devices on the market. A good Gen 3 is $3,000 to $5,000. It's not cheap. I would save up. Don't get a Gen 2, get a Gen 3. You know, it was first introduced back in the 90s to enhance night vision. It's not a brand new technology. It was meant to replace the PVS 7, which was a dual vision, one camera system. I have a PVS 7. It became the PVS 14 was adopted by the military and our allies, and it remains in top use. Okay, so whether or not you like the white phos or the traditional green, it's up to you. I have a drink of my ginger ale here. So why I'm introducing these different thermal and night vision optics is because I'm working on a video demonstrating their use. So I figured it'd be nice to introduce them. I got a video that's going to be coming out soon. I'll be done with it soon, and we'll go from there. Now, this is a first generation, I call it a clip-on thermal imager, but it's a thermal acquisition clip-on system made by NIVI SYS TAX. TAX is Tactical Acquisition Clip-on. Clip-on. Now, this is cutting edge, okay? Basically, as you saw earlier, it attaches to the PVS 14, and it superimposes a thermal image on top of the night vision image that you can see. So you can't hide heat, okay? You're going to camouflage at night, just like you would during the day, to be hard to see. but you can't hide your body heat, folks. It's an excellent choice for tactical operations and surveillance, hunting, and detecting heat signatures. This thing has a miniature thermal sensor that delivers high-resolution imagery, and it's beautiful. It's compact and lightweight and makes it easy to carry. This thing is worth a lot of money. You can see through smoke, fog, or other obstacles. You can't see thermal through a wall, folks, okay? And it gives you a tactical edge. Though this device is from the early 2000s, the one that I have in my hand presently, it was meant to complement existing Nightvision devices and gave our forces edge. The TAC operates by using a thermal sensor to detect IR radiation heat emitted by you or me, objects or animals. And unlike traditional night vision, which amplifies ambient light, thermal works independent of light sources, making it effective in total darkness, or if it's obscured. Just going to do a quick hands view here. Has its battery pack here. Now these eat up a little bit of a battery, so you have to make sure you have a couple in you. It just takes a CRS-123 battery. Okay. You don't know what that looks like. It's these little batteries here. And yeah, I'm using the device, so I'm not keeping the battery stored in it. And it's beautiful. Anyway, like I say, it captures the heat signatures, converts them into a visible image, and there's different palettes: white hot, black hot, outline, and it's mounted in front of my PVS-14. You can mount it on top of a scope if you want, or a night vision monocular. Now think about it. You can actually mount that device on top of a rifle scope if you wanted to turn your rifle scope into a pseudo version of a thermal scope, if it would fit. The problem is this only fits so much. That'd be a pretty small scope, because this image right here gets superimposed on it. I mean, it's something that's workable. I wouldn't personally do it. I wouldn't take that thing and put it in front of a scope and shoot it. It's pretty expensive. Now, these older models, and I've dropped them a few times, they're known for their ruggability. Believe it or not, I got this one on eBay. You can find these older models on eBay. And when I had a problem with a piece, I called NIVYS, and they mailed me out a piece. I had to pay for it, but I needed an attachment for it. They took care of it, no problem. So the next device that I want to talk about, and I keep this stored up in here, is my FLIR Breach PTQ-136. Now you may think, well, this is a night vision device. No, it's a thermal scope, folks. It's a thermal scope. And yes, you can attach this to your helmet for surveillance. Okay, the FLIR PTQ-136. Yeah, it's designed for tactical outdoor enthusiasts and preppers. Law enforcement, I don't know that the military really uses it. The thing is, this is a FLIR system, okay? Forward-looking infrared is what FLIR stands for. And it's got a boson core, and the resolution is 320 by 256 with a 12-micron pitch pixel. The smaller the microns, the better the picture. So this image is pretty detailed. And you'll see on a video that I got coming out soon how detailed it can be. Now, I want you to be aware, they do have thermal scopes now that come out 1080 resolution, and the small imaging ones now are at 640. I'm quite satisfied with my 320 by 256, okay? My FLIR breech weighs 7.5 ounces, basically. Pretty light. You can put it in your pocket, or you put it on your helmet. But one thing you want to do, folks, is any of these devices, you're going to do anything, have a string attached to it. Find a place to mount a string and have that string around your body, because you don't want to lose this precious piece of equipment. Always have this stuff mounted with a piece of 550 cord tied to something so it doesn't fall off and go bye-bye. You don't want that to happen. It doesn't really hurt the eyes, as far as weight wearing it. It's got a 60 hertz refresh rate, and it provides smooth real-time thermal imaging. It's good for tracking targets or navigating dynamic situations. So the device, and you're going to see it in the video, it comes in different color palettes: white hot, black hot, rainbow. It has a compass and an inclinometer for situational awareness. FLIR makes a good product. It does use battery, not as much as the Cody or the Tax, but it does use battery. So folks, like I said, I'm working on a video with my imaging. I want to show you something. So what I can do now is, this is going to be a future video. This is Nightvision. This is a thermal scope to be mounted. And I got this attachment here. And I can attach my phone now. And that's how I'm going to record things, as you can see. And I can record off my phone doing a live stream if I wanted to. Now, I do have a camera system that plugs into the back of the scope that records what I'm doing, but I can't record it live. So yeah, in the future, I'm going to be doing some Nightvision live streams using my phone. Or maybe if I could get this device to work on this, but that lens is too big. It wouldn't work on the lens. It was a thought. No, you know me, folks, I'm a medical person. And I like to talk about medical stuff. Usually I talk about alternative and complementary medicine, but today I'm going to keep it old school. Whoops, there it is. So basic first aid and hygiene, okay? Just going over a quick list of, just to remind you what you should pack for your first aid kit. Now, I've done a couple of videos about my medic bag, which is a rather extreme version of this. But this is more geared towards the home, okay? You want to make sure you have some pain relievers like Motrin or Tylenol. You make sure you have moleskin, okay, for blisters when you walk. And septic wipes to keep wounds clean and keep your hands clean. You want to make sure you have plenty of these nitrile gloves to protect yourself when treating others. Irrigation syringe, that's the thing. I've got hundreds of irrigation syringes for flushing wounds with clean water. Well, sometimes you want to get some clean water and just flush a wound if you don't have access to a sink. Which will bring me into my next part here in a few minutes. A saline eye wash, to flush debris or chemicals from the eyes. Make sure you have a first aid manual that you can refer to. Make sure you have hand sanitizer, okay? And wet wipes to wipe everything down. And if you can find some biodegradable soap, well, isn't all soap if it's just made basically biodegradable? Other things that you want to have is a toothbrush and toothpaste. Now, I have a bunch of those toothbrushes for weapons cleaning that I haven't used. Now, I'm not going to put something that I put in oil and clean my weapon with in my mouth, but it could be used if it had to be used, as long as I didn't dip it before. Folks, you want to have toilet paper, okay? And a lot of these items, you want to make sure you have them packed in plastic bags that are sealed. You make sure you have chapstick, okay? Make sure you have nail clippers so you don't get those ingrown nails on your big toes. Folks, you got to take care of your feet, okay? You need foot powder and a quick drying towel. If anything, a way to make a portable toilet for field sanitation, okay? Now, here's a crazy video idea that I'm thinking of doing. And I did some research. It's legal, but controversial. Composting human feces. And I'm going to go over that a little bit later, not today. Just an idea. It's not something I'm doing. Make sure you have some disinfectant, okay? In the past, I've talked about making Dakin solution. I think it's time to bring that back. You can make your own Dakin solution with just some home ingredients. And for the ladies, make sure you have your menstrual products. So that's stuff that you should just keep in a general bag, okay? For more of the trauma and advanced medical, make sure you keep a tourniquet or two, a cat or a soft tea. You know, that's essential for stopping massive bleeding. And a quick clot or Celox to stop severe bleeding, okay? Hemostatic gauze, folks. Israeli bandages or pressure dressings. These are for pretty serious wounds. And chest seals for treating a sucking chest wound. And if you have that 12 gauge or 14 gauge needle decompression catheter needle, something you have to have some training on. Make sure you have some good scissors. Folks, I've had these scissors for decades. These are my trauma shears. I like them. That's what I had in the military. That's what I use today. If it works, don't change it. Because you can cut through a seatbelt with that, cut through closing. Make sure you have a couple of SAM splints to split broken bones, okay? Finger splints. And if you don't have finger splints, tape, and you tape it to the other finger. You want to soothe burns, so burn dressings or gel that helps treat the burns from chemical sources. Folks, a suture kit or stapler, skin stapler for advanced wound closure. That requires pretty intensive training. It's not something you can learn in an hour or watch from a YouTube video. Make sure you have some scalpels and blades, a stethoscope and a blood pressure cuff, and a dental first aid kit for temporary fillings, dental wax, and toothache relief. One thing is CPR mask, if it's going to do any good, and keep a 30-day supply of your medications. I do videos on antibiotics all the time. It's good to have some broad spectrum antibiotics. I have an updated video I just made on antibiotics. Folks, getting diarrhea, anti-diarrheal medication out in the field or when shit hits the fan is paramount most of the time. Make sure you have some Benadryl and some steroids for allergic reactions. And of course, an EpiPen. Potassium iodide really meant for children. That's in case of a thyroid from radiation exposure. And one thing here is a suction device for a snake bite. Folks, if you've seen any of my other videos, I've got hundreds of nasal pharyngeal airways. Goes in through the nose. I've already talked about needle decompression. So what do we basically talk about? We talk about airway, breathing, and bleeding. And antibiotics and shock, anaphylactic shock, and volume shock. Those are the things you can take care of outgoing. Folks, I want to update you on the prepper's garden, okay? This morning, I had some cantaloupe growing, and a couple of, from last year, I guess I didn't get the seeds out. They started growing in a bunch of my beds. And I got my small 25-gallon beds. And this morning I woke up and I took them out. I didn't want them growing in my 25-gallon beds. So now I have two plants of, or four maybe, of cantaloupe growing where I didn't even plan on it. And in that same bed, I've got lima beans, carrots, and a tomato growing in the same big bed, one big tomato. I harvested my first zucchini today, and I actually ate some of it for dinner, and it was delicious. And it was just so fresh. I'm not a big zucchini eater, folks, but when I grow it myself, I like to eat it. Good news, in my garden, all those ginger plants that I planted a month ago, they're starting to come up. They're like a big stick. When I do a live feed, I'll show you. So that means I'm going to have some ginger in the next 9 months, 8 months, 7 months. It takes a long time to grow. I didn't really think this one through. The regular purple potatoes that I've planted, that's the first thing I planted in the season. They got a couple weeks left before they're going to be ready to harvest because the plants are starting to get a little gray and getting older. And once those plants die off, that's when you can harvest your potatoes. Maybe a month or two, I don't know. I want to try to get them as big as possible. And I got tons and tons of sweet potatoes growing, folks. And they spread out, the leaves, they spread out everywhere. And that just tells me that it's growing. And when those leaves die back, that means it's ready to harvest. But here's one thing I learned. You can leave those sweet potatoes and those regular potatoes in the garden, in the dirt, and you can take them out next spring or next summer to eat them. And I discovered I didn't pull a couple of sweet potatoes from last year when I was filling my compost early on. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with this? So I put it back in the new compost after I collected everything. The tomato plants are taking off. I had to transplant one because the lima beans and the carrots were getting too big for it. I should have planted those maybe 3 months before I did inside, and they would have been a lot bigger now. Prior planting prevents piss poor performance. But that's okay, folks. The carrots, now I keep the carrots as a weed control. So if the carrots grow, weeds can't grow around it, but some of them do. And yeah, folks, I do compost my weeds. Everything that I compost this year is sitting in my bin until next year. I don't compost it right away. I let it sit. I smash it up. I have a auger on my drill that I use, and I use my hoe and I just continuously break everything down. I get a shovel, turn it over, break everything down. I put water in it and break everything down because I'm doing a video, an updated video on my compost, okay? Well, I'm just adding to it as I go along. The most recent thing that I composted were the greens from the cantaloupe that I didn't want to grow. Now understand, I got about 4 cantaloupe that will grow that are starting to develop cantaloupe. Those small 25-gallon raised beds were meant for something else, namely sweet potatoes and carrots. My eggplant, I have purple and white eggplant that I'm growing this year. I can't tell which one is which anymore. I didn't divide them up like that. But once they grow, I'll know. They're all prospering. They're growing. They're getting a lot bigger. No fruits yet. These things get about 3 feet high, like a tomato plant. Not as big, but they still take up a lot of space. So I learned last year, you don't put too many in a bin. I'm still getting weeds. I just pull the weeds out. I had an issue with some carpenter bees. Found another nest that I eradicated from some spray, some natural spray, and I'm redistributing my wood, going through it and making sure everything's okay. I use that wood to smoke, and every prepper should have piles of wood, right? So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with the garden. This year I didn't plant any onions or anything else like that. One thing that I'm horrible at planting, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing wrong with it, is garlic. Okay, I just can't get garlic to grow. I get onions to grow, but garlic takes a longer time to grow. Maybe I'm just not being patient enough or giving it enough room or the soil. I don't know. We'll see. And that's about it for my update with my my garden. Like I said, the compost is going pretty good. I add to it. I add some water, then I mash everything. Today I used my auger. And it's just attached to the drill, and it just stirs up everything a little bit. It's not really that necessary, but it's important. So next we're going to talk about water bug out sources, okay? And key features. And this is where I'm going to grab my... Well, back in the military days, we called these camelbacks, but this is a Eclipse. It's got a water reservoir here, as you can see. I think it stores 2 liters. But what I've decided to do is I've decided to make this my my complete emergency water reservoir system. I'll show you what I mean. And lookity. I've been looking for my Gerber. It was in my water reservoir. There you go, sweetheart. Okay. So this is just basically what I call the camelback. And you just put water in here and you drink it. Okay? Well, what if the water's dirty, folks? What are you going to do? Well, you can do a lot of things. You can try to get down on your hands and knees with a personal water filter and drink it. Or you can find a way to get it going. And this goes from dirty to clean. And I'm just going to show you here, okay? This system's platypus. Now this is where the dirty water comes in, and I recommend you filter this out further before you start attaching it. So this simply attaches right here. This is going to be higher off the ground. This is the filter. I think you could use any filter as long as it has the attachment. Going to keep higher off the ground, and then you're going to connect it to where the clean water goes. And you keep the clean water lower, like this. And then you get some clean water that you can keep it for long-term storage. But this is basically how I go with my my water bug out. I'm going to step off camera. I wanted to grab something. Just give me 1 second. Where is that thing? There. I'm back. So this is a personal water filter system. We're going to open it up, okay? And we're going to see how it compares. Look at this, folks. If you had to, you could. You just basically drink from here. The dirty goes in here. The clean goes here. You could get your own plastic and connect it to a, make your own system, folks. So this is my bug out water system that I have. The only thing that I'm missing that I need to include are some towels, and because the towels would be used to filter out the water initially. Okay. And a small collapsible bowl that I can use to filter out that water before I put it in my system. It's all good, folks. It's all good. So I would need to get a small little bowl just to attach water. You get the water, you got to put the water in somewhere. Back in the old days, okay, with a canteen, we would just dump the canteen in a stream of water and add the iodine to it. But this is a working project, sir, with the bug out water filtration system. And I'm going to do updates, and I'll show you what I do for my updates on this. This is by no means complete. Now I have 550 cord in case I need to attach something out of paranoia. And I am a little paranoid, okay? So the dirty reservoir, as you can see, is where you collect untreated water. Stream, lake, or river. Like I say, the filter, the water flows through the filter. It removes bacteria, protozoa, and other contaminants. And then you got the clean reservoir, where the filtered water is collected, ready for drinking or cooking. You want to scoop that dirty water from your source into the dirty reservoir. And this is where I would recommend you filter it first with like a towel, just to get a lot of the contaminants out. Because the less strain you put on that filter, the better. And I've done this before, just using a regular towel. a dedicated towel, a wet towel. You got to have a towel on you anyway, and a little thing that's like that, and it can hold the water. And then you put it back in after it's cleaner. You put it back in the dirty reservoir again. But you want to hang the dirty reservoir higher than the clean one, because that's how gravity works on this planet, right? Make sure you connect the filters and let gravity do its thing. It's hands-free. Well, you got to set it up, then it's hands-free. But you can do other things while you're doing it. Obviously, it's lightweight and compact. And you see how I have it? I fit in. This is my bug-out water system. It fits quite easily. And I've got more room for some iodine or a collapsible cup. And that's pretty high capacity, okay? That's several liters there. I think it's a gallon. You want to make sure you back flush the filter. Clean that filter by reversing the flow of water to maintain efficiency. And you want to keep those reservoirs separate. Like you can see here, I didn't keep them connected. I disconnected them, okay, folks? You want to make sure that reservoir, they're all dry before you put them away, because you don't want mold or bacteria to grow. Platypus offers several models, such as the Gravity Works system. It's pretty popular. Let me know what you think. And of course, I got the backpack, the water hydration backpack. And back in the day, 2004, 2005, when we started using them, it's basically a little backpack, and you have your water. And anywhere you went, you had to put your water in there to drink it. But you still had to have your 2 canteens. It was a good way to have hands-free without stopping. Now think about it. When you're doing a forced road march and you're rucking around and you're pulling yourself hard, it was always hard as hell to open up your canteen. You can't stop, have a drink, and then put it back. And then if you put it back the wrong way, or you decide to put it in your cargo pocket so you don't lose it. So this is where I learned initially. Young me learned initially. Tie down your equipment like that with 550 cord, even your canteen. So if you can't stop, you can at least drag it while you're moving along so it doesn't get lost. Or if you have your battle buddy will pick it up and put it in your back where it belongs. So you see it's got I believe mine is a 2-liter reservoir of water. And no, folks, I've never mixed anything else in the reservoir. I don't want to risk contamination. I don't put any alcohol in there. And the drinking tube is a bite valve for sipping. And it runs over your shoulder. And it's comfortable and it's fun. Now, it becomes a little pain in the ass when you have to wear body armor. And if you're stupid, you're going to well, do I put the body armor over the... No, you put the body armor on first. Then you put the water camelback over the body armor, folks. The benefits of that hydration backpack, well, one, you don't die of kidney failure from dehydration. The 2 liters is what I have. It's enough for me here. You can run it. You can ride your bike. You can patrol. And it disconnects quite easily to clean it. Clean it with soap and water to prevent mold. I'm not going to tell you to put bleach in it, okay? Because that bleach permeates through that plastic and you can never get rid of it. Let it dry thoroughly. Don't put sugary drinks in your water reservoir, folks. It just prevents, or it gets sticky and you're encouraging bacterial growth. And that's when you get the diarrhea, folks. You know, it's essential for preppers, outdoors enthusiasts, and survivalists, and anyone who wants to be prepared for emergencies. You can drink from natural resources like rivers, lakes, or puddles. And then we talk about the personal water filter. So that's the one where you have to get down on your hands and knees and drink water from the ground. You don't have to boil anything. It removes E. coli and Giardia and Cryptosporidium, so it does its job. There's two types: hollow fiber and activated carbon and ceramic. You know, they say these things last for thousands of liters before needing replacement. I'm not going to wait that long to test them. There's some personal ones like a straw, life straw. Like this one, you can drink from a water source. Other ones include the Katadyn, which I have a Katadyn that I keep in my water survival package. It pumps the water through a container, fills larger quantities of water. The platypus, like I showed, is a gravity fed. You have bottle filters, and I don't really like these. It combines water in a water bottle with a built-in filter. But you put the dirty water in the SOAR, and as you drink it, it becomes filtered. A SOAR Mini is an inline filter. You got to let these things dry out. So, I want to do some updates on what I'm working on. Like I talked about when we started today, I'm doing a video. I'm going to be doing several videos on my PVS-14, my TAC system. I grew up calling this a clip-on thermal imager. Okay. And FLIR videos. I've got these set up. I'm just working on getting them going. Okay. You're going to like it because I can do live feeds now because I have that little attachment. And I'll be doing some live streams outside at night with my phone camera, but still it'll work. You should check out my videos now. I'm doing a series called Urban Survival. Now, I'm a suburban prepper. I don't live out in the country. Don't quite live in the inner city. Urban, suburban, okay? And urban preppers face different challenges more so than rural preppers. And I like to address some of those challenges that urban preppers face. I have ongoing videos that I'm making about that. I have a sip of my Mojo here, diet ginger drink. So listen up, folks. I'm going to be making videos with my two other thermal scopes. I got my FLIR PTS 233 and I've got my 640 Halo LR. As you can see, I can attach this device right here. And I put my phone right there where it needs to be, and it connects, and you'll see what it looks like right through it. Anyway. So I want to back up a little bit. Today's video is mostly about stuff. I'm going to be doing shooting videos on how to zero a thermal scope. And you'll see the before and after. It'll be interesting. and I'll be doing live streams with them because they're fun to shoot. And I have a tripod that I can mount this on that won't fall. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know. What else? Well, I think that's wrapping it up here in a minute. Oh, yeah. A little bit about the difference between thermal and what I consider to be analog night vision. Okay? You don't want to go on patrol looking through thermal. You can't see truly in 3 dimensions with thermal. The only exception being if you have the clip-on thermal imager attached to your PVS-14. Now, what thermal is great for is for surveillance and for shooting at night. Now, when you're using a thermal like this, you're not going to be shooting on the run usually, or you might be. Hell, who knows? And if that were the case, I don't know what to tell you how you could do it. Another video that I'm going to be making is using my PVS-14 with my my Tax, my Cody clip-on thermal imager, and a IR laser, and you'll get to see on my rifle how it looks looking through the IR laser. Gonna be pretty exciting. Now the bad part about it is I can't really load rounds in my rifle and shoot them where I'm recording because that would get me thrown in jail. So I'm not going to do anything illegal like that, folks. I just get to see where the laser goes and how it looks through a Gen 3 PVS-14 and a clip-on thermal imager. And I'll have different targets that you can look at that'll be illuminated out in the distance. That's going to make for a great, fun video. I know some of these devices aren't cheap. At the minimum, I'm going to tell you, folks, a 320 thermal scope is great, okay? But if you're going to get night vision, don't settle for digital night vision, okay? Because you need the IR light to see anything. Unlike a Gen 3 PVS-14, where you can use ambient light, basically light that reflects off the moon from the star, our sun, and it collects into the cathode, and that gives you that vision. Now, with the PVS-14, you can turn on the IR, infrared light, and it basically lights up everything around you, but you don't really need to. It works great without it. From now on, most of my videos, most of the time, I'm going to try to post about 2 videos a week, and I'm taking more time in producing them, my prepper videos. I want more quality than quantity now. I've had one video so far that's almost hit 14,000 views, and I hope this is not an anomaly, but something that's ongoing. I was pretty excited when it hit 1,000 views, and then 5,000, and then 10,000, and it's on its way. It's going to hit 20,000, I'm sure, in a couple of days. And then how I'm growing my channel organically by just making my videos the way I like to make them. In the background, you hear that noise, that humming noise. That's my freeze dryer. And I'm making a freeze dry video about some meat. And I'm at the last part of the freeze dry here while it's drying. And I'll be posting that video after I do some editing and stuff. So that really is my show. My Saturday live. And I'm logging in here. See if there's any questions or any comments. And no questions or comments so far. Okay. Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Appreciate your time. And again, I'm making my videos again on Saturdays at 7 p.m. I think that's the best time to do them. Everybody have a good day.